Welcome to the Agentic Quality Podcast, and I'm your host, Tatyana Arbouzova. At the Agentic Quality Podcast, we talk about AI adoption across quality organization, and we meet engineering leaders and quality leaders who go through this journey and can share their experience with us. Today, we have Rohit Singh with us, who works in biopharma as a principal quality engineer at the company called Clinical Inc. Welcome, Rohit.
Thank you, Tatyana. Thank you so much for having me.
And before we dive into AI and testing, tell us a bit about your journey. How did you go from development into quality leadership?
Sure. So I started my career, and then I was in development. I was a Java developer, and then I moved to quality assurance. But there's a little story behind it, and the story goes like this. So I was when I joined the company, it was UC Davis Health Systems, and while I was there to build their system and enhance it, I actually, when I joined and learned the system, I was finding issues in the system. So then my first task was I opened a lot of defects and I said that, there are these existing defects in the system, and that the team was pretty impressed. And then came another turning point in my life where, the app like Google Maps, there is an app called Waze. So I was using that. And then it was initially, I think, in 2016. And that is when it newly came out, and I was using it and I found a whole bunch of bugs. So I emailed the support team of Waze, and then they gave me a lot of appreciation for finding these issues. And that kind of motivated me. And then I was like, I'm good at this. I do this with passion. So why don't I pursue this in the career and at least move towards automation where I code as well as, do the QA. That's how it started.
That's a great story. And there's so many people who go the other way from quality to development and seeing it as a stepping stone. And I don't see it as a stepping stone. I see so many passionate quality engineers who see that as their own profession and something that they really enjoy. So I'm glad that you ended up in quality. And at what moment you realized, okay, quality is what I want to focus on, long term? Was there a moment like that?
Yeah, I wanted to pursue this quality in a long term. When what I was doing, I was really good at it. So there is a saying that goes that if you're good at something and you do it with ease, you should pursue that for life. And this was told by Sam Altman. Uh, so I believe in that concept as well. The best people in the industry are the people who do the toughest things with a lot of ease. So I felt I'm good at it. I do it with passion. And yeah, if you're good at something, keep doing it.
I love that saying. So you work in life sciences, and that's a little bit different from e-commerce or SaaS uh, software. So can you tell us more about what quality looks like for a life sciences company?
Yeah, life sciences and the quality that I am in, it's a software quality, but it comes into life sciences. So we build ECOA systems that are patient centric. I'll give you a small example. Uh, for example, there is a vaccine or a medical condition or a tablet for the medical condition that is being prepared. It then goes to phase 3 and phase 4 of development, where it is then given to humans, right? So, in that phase, the clinical trials conducted on the humans, they try to analyze how the behavior of this drug impacting the humans that have taken it. So the software here comes into picture when the drug or a vaccine is given, and these patients then take home a software on their phone, like an app, or maybe get a provisioned device, and they complete these activities and surveys every day. In that way, the clinical trials is conducted time to time, and the patient's data is also collected, and the people in the research department of this drug or vaccine that is being developed, they get to see the patient's progress on their computers. So now it is no more paper based and has moved, the patient outcomes have moved to electronic. That is where the software comes into picture. And that's why you see that when the COVID vaccine came out, it came out really fast, and this is because of tools like ours that help expedite it. Now, another thing is that we also do some prediction analysis and dashboards that actually help analyze a patient demography and then scale it to a larger demography and then give you analysis on that. So that then the observers, clinicians, then they can understand how this drug will react for a broader audience, and then submit that to FDA for approvals, and then go for mass production. So that is the industry that I specifically work in. It is highly regulated with HIPAA, GXP, GDPR, and FDA, ISO guidelines. So along with all that, we need to do innovation. So it
Yeah.
is that.
And how does this level of risk change how you think about testing and quality?
Yeah, so as I said, right, this is a very regulated space, and in this regulated space, as I mentioned a few, like HIPAA, you have a lot of health data, the PHI and the PII information of the data. So our systems need to be very secure. So security testing is conducted at a very strict level to make sure the data doesn't slip through, and then comes the innovation. We need to do innovation in FDA guidelines, like when we are involving AI and bringing AI into the picture, you need to follow the FDA guidelines where your AI tool needs to have a proper traceability metrics and all of that. And then there are some ISO guidelines for risk based testing and risk based assessments that you need to do. So innovation with all of these regulations is a niche, and it's a very narrow road to drive. And with the speed that the world is moving in that narrow road, you need to drive really fast.
Right, right. And so for people who are not in this space, can you tell us more about like what exactly you're testing? What does the system look like that you're testing?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Our system has different categories. We have apps. We have our apps on the mobile device for both iOS and Android. We also have patient web, which is for the web, which is designed for the web. And on we have something like a web portal, which is for the doctors and the clinicians and all of them to see the data that is flowing in, to create the studies. Every study is unique. You do an oncology study, you do an ortho study, or you're doing a study based on infants. Every study is designed differently, and they have e-pros and surveys. These are patient reported outcomes, the pros. So each form is different, and each study is different. So our system looks in three different categories, meaning one, to develop the study. Now, after developing study, you make prototypes out of it, which is the apps, which are then downloaded on the mobile devices of the patient, and then they conduct the whole clinical trials. If the patient doesn't have a phone or wants to do this in front of a doctor, or we call them principal investigators, they can actually do that when they are visiting the clinic in the computer, which is called PWeb.
And what makes the testing in this kind of environment challenging? What are the biggest challenges that you usually face testing?
Right. So being a tester, you always want to break some stuff, right? You want to break some stuff, and you also want to build stuff. So when you want to break stuff, which is all good because you don't want to find bugs and then move towards getting a proper bugless system. But when it comes to innovation in the regulated space, finding a proper tool that will fit every need and pass every audit is a very tight space. I find it really challenging to find those kind of tools that actually match the expectation of the regulated industry, and also fit innovation and speed.
Yeah, innovation is hard in the tight regulated industries. And you mentioned that you started using AI early on, even before it became mainstream. So can you tell us more about how did you get into it and why did you start using it?
Right. So before I tell that, I want to tell a little one more story, if you don't mind. Uh, I love cars. I'm a fanatic of. I'm a petrolhead. I love cars, and also now that we have electric cars, I love the whole new era of electric cars. With that, excitement of mine towards these hobbies that I have of driving cars, I actually found Tesla and Waymo. These two companies very interesting. And this was during just past after COVID. This was like 2021. And then I came across the word autonomous and what autonomous does. Reading about that, understanding about that, I was very fascinated. Now, then I thought that these autonomous features, why can't it be there in our QA industry? What can we do in the QA industry? And then started my research, and then I stumbled upon AI in quality assurance, and then I was searching for tools that could help me do this faster. With that research, I found a few tools that were just flourishing in the market and just coming up in the market, and then I found them very interesting and what they do. So with that approach, I incorporated it, and I had to choose a tool that is also helpful for regulatory standpoint, right? It has to meet have a proper traceability. It should have a proper audit, passing kind of a criteria. So keeping all of that in mind, I chose a tool, ran with it, and ever since then, I'm been using AI tools in the quality space.
And you evaluated multiple tools, right? And how did you decide which tools are worth adapting, which tools are not worth adapting?
That's a great question. So, the requirement is different for everybody and every industry and every company that comes in. My requirement of having a tool was to have a unified tool because as I just said, we have a tool that we need to automate on the web, we need to automate on the mobile, we need to automate our APIs as well, and we have a desktop application. So now having a unified platform that could talk to each other in the same, like if you have a separate tool for mobile, if you have a separate tool for web, they can't talk to each other. That would actually avoid multimodality testing. So choosing a tool with a multimodality feature that increases your potential to do testing faster in the same environment. And another few things is to move towards self-healing technology that is now in some of the AI tools. What does that does is it helps in maintenance a lot. If you have a regression suite that you've built and it's always failing during releases and you have to do a lot of maintenance on it, it is feasible, it's not practical, right? It will slow down the releases. So having this self-healing technology will actually enable us to do much more faster releases. And the last thing is low code automation. If you can have a tool that has natural language processing in the background and that could help doing the low code automation, it will also help do things faster at a space where you could do more releases at shorter time.
So it sounds like it helps you with the test automation and the self healing. And where else does this AI tool help you in your testing journey?
In our company right now, we are introducing that, and we have already introduced that in four spaces. Number one is creating of our test cases. Now, our test cases now are created when you actually give the requirements, you give the user stories to the system. The system then creates the test cases for us, keeping in mind the boundary scenarios, the negative testing and the positive testing. And with that, now the tester can create test cases much faster. But there are some alterations to do. That is where the human comes into impact, where you add some test data, add different environments, and all of that runtime related changes, and you implement that. Now, the second thing is security. As I said, we are very highly regulated and we need HIPAA guidelines and we need to follow that. So, security testing, now there are tools in the industry which help you do and find vulnerabilities during the security testing. And now that is speeded up in such a way that you could give a URL, you could give it credentials, And once it logs in, it will give you the full information of what kind of APIs are being hit and what kind of authentication is at risk. I'm just talking about the first page, which is authentication, right? It could tell you how you can enter the system uh, using an admin, a normal role, and then you can switch it to admin without even having the credentials. So to hack the kind of system and then find vulnerabilities like this, it takes weeks for the security team. But now with AI, it takes seconds. But you still need to analyze it, right? Then you put a couple hours into it, you analyze it, which takes weeks, now takes days. That is where the speed increases. In my industry, another one is compliance. In my compliance is a huge part. Now we have tools, and my boss, my VP, has also built a system by himself that acts like an auditor and audits our validation documents. For a release, when you make validation documents, it acts as an auditor, understands it, because that system, that agent which is built, you can build a system, give it all the documentation of FDA, ISO standards, it understands everything, and then ask it to pretend like an auditor and give it all the validation documents. It will find you the mistakes that even the auditors cannot. So that means the audits go smooth. When the audits go smooth, you get more clients, more
Right.
money, right?
That's right. And it's amazing to hear that you're saving so much time on these activities like test creation or self healing, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
do you have an idea of how much time it saves you overall?
Yeah, so independently, percentage wise, for test case creation now is 60% faster, because it reduces the time of typing a story into. Now you can just feed the requirements. You don't have to type the test cases, expected actual results, and all of that. It does it for you. You need to audit that. So 60% reduction on that. Security testing, as I told you, which takes weeks, now takes days. So you are using only 20% of the effort that you were using before, which is 100%, right? And in the compliance, you are more now in a shape where the company looks good to the outside vendors, to the outside clients. So that increases the reputation of the company as well, right? And then comes automation, which I'm going to talk a lot about, I guess, in the
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was my next question. You mentioned that you're doing test automation with the AI tools and you empowered manual testers to do this. So, can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, kind of a different approach here, and I love my approach on this one. Is that I feel that automation is what a lot of teams were chasing from the past decade, right? And automation was the goal. I feel right now empowering our manual testers to automate or move towards autonomous testing using low code automation tools is the key. Reason why I say that is because our manual testers are subject matter experts. They understand the industry, domain knowledge, they understand the product in and out, because they're part of the grooming sessions, they're part of all the SDLC cycle, right? They understand everything, and they lack skill to automate. Now, if we bridge that gap and we have low code automation tools and ask them to just perform their testing as they're doing, and the system codes for you in the backend while it's recording it, it makes it so easy for us to run that same cycle multiple times. If you're doing round one, round two, round three of testing, if you're doing that in different environments like UAT, you could just change the environments at runtime and run the same thing. You test it once, it records it for you and builds the automation. So I feel that empowering the manual testers to do automation is the key. And what happens with this is the training that you need to provide for the manual team is actually less. If you have to train them on Java, if you have to train them on Playwright and Selenium, all that, it take weeks, sometimes months, right? And we need perfection, which takes maybe 6 months, right? With this, you train them for a few days and they start playing around and they can get the hold of it. So empowering manual testers, yeah, that's the way to go.
That's a great approach. And what surprised you in that transition the most?
Yeah, what surprised me the most in this is that the manual QA actually builds the scripts much better than the automation team members, and I say that with no guilt. This reason why is because they know the system in and out. They know the bugs that are coming from production, that are reported from the support team. They know the fundamentals of 101 of the QA, and they know the trend of bugs, which are the modules that are having the most impact and all of that. So they know how to add scope onto testing. So with that, what happens is the manual testing testers, when builds an autonomous script, is much widerly scoped and much more robust. So this surprises me a lot that when having a domain knowledge and the product knowledge, if you add skill to that person, they can do wonders.
Yeah, that's amazing. Quick up leveling with the AI test tools nowadays. And so there's a
Yeah.
lot of hype around AI, what it can do, what it cannot do. So what do you think the people get wrong about AI?
What people get wrong about I would say, is that it will replace jobs, right? That is first the mindset. I would say a lot of panic right now with the tools that is happening, and we are stuck with a dilemma that should we move out of software testing or software engineering per se. I would say it's like giving Google Maps to a driver or giving a calculator to a mathematician. AI is your best friend. The faster you make friendship with it and the faster you get close to that is the faster you build a bond. So I would say start building agents, use agentic AI, start building agents. There are multiple tools out there, and some of the ones are, you can see in the news, are evolving very well. So start using them, build agents, treat it like your friend, treat that agent like your friend, and then make it do your work, and then you become not a QA, you become a strategist, right? So that is the kind of a mindset I think we should move towards in AI and not panic.
And where do you think AI falls short? Where do we still need the human judgment?
Yeah. So where AI falls short, it is actually um, the large language models, right? The large language models that we have, you need to constantly do model training. You need to train the model. You need to build data pipelines, right? You need to constantly have feedback loops giving to the system, and you need to personalize over time. So I think these are the ones that actually fall short in the AI right now, but it's improving. And the other thing is, sometimes when you constantly keep asking the same question and ask it to improvise, the AI system sometimes hallucinate. And then, of course, you get frustrated with that, right? So I would say that they are really good, the way you build it. But the large language models that are there right now, it requires constant model training. You need to build data pipelines. You need to give feedback loops constantly, and then personalize over time. So these are some fall shorts.
Great. And you already started talking about the evolving role of QA engineer. But can you expand a bit more, like looking ahead? How do you think the role of the quality engineer is going to change?
Absolutely. So I believe, and very strongly believe, that the QA, they're going to move from being executors to being strategists. They are going to move from being testers to being more analysts. And the last one is, I believe that they're going to move from script writers to become like AI supervisors. So that's what I believe, that the evolution of the QA is going to be more on strategy, on being an analyst, and being an AI supervisor, rather than being an executor, tester, and then being a script writer.
And if they're going to become a supervisor, then what skills do you think they need to work on now to develop to become good at it?
Absolutely. As I said, meet your best friend soon. So, agentic AI, I think, would be the best approach to take. Have agents, build agents that you constantly can feed the information with. Train your agents in such a way that they could do things for you much faster, and believe in one mindset, that AI is not competition, AI is your friend. It's, as I said, like before, that it's like a calculator to a mathematician. So I think that that's the mindset we need to walk away with.
Thank you. And where can people find you if they want to follow up with you or learn, connect with you?
Yeah, my name is Rohit Singh Raja, and you can find me on LinkedIn. You can just search with Rohit Singh Raja, and Clinical Inc. is where I work. You can search it with that and find it. I do also have a lot of publications and I have published a lot of material. So you can find me on Google Scholars as well by just searching my name. And feel free to reach out to me if you want to discuss. I would love to have a conversation over a cup of coffee.
Amazing. And thank you, Rohit, for sharing your experience with us. And thank you for being an innovator in your space and sharing your learning with everyone through
Yeah, one thing I
articles.
would like to also say that today is it's a National AI Literacy Day. So I'm glad to be doing this with you today on such a special occasion.
Amazing, amazing. Yes, thank you so much. Any last words for our audience?
Yeah, go meet your best friend soon. Your best friend is waiting for you. Don't shy. Don't feel shy.
Thank you, Rohit. It's been great chatting with you.
It was my pleasure. Thank you all.